Welcome everybody to a very special Metabolic Monday 250K giveaway. We're actually giving away 270,000 if you want to add all of the winners included. I'm going to let everyone load on up. Again, this is an awards Metabolic Monday. Again, to kick off the celebration of our very first $250,000 giveaway, $250,000 in functional health certifications to make sure that you can go out there and heal and create amazing outcomes for anybody and everybody, no matter what the condition or the athletic outcome. We are going to have a very special, this is the first time we've actually done this actually. So I'm super, super excited. Hello everybody. Nathan, Therese, hello. Samantha, Holly, hello everybody. We're going to let people load on in. We know we'll have quite a few tonight. Again, we're giving away 250K on this Metabolic Monday Live. Well, not all. I can't say that. We're not giving it all away on this live, but we'll be giving it away over the course of the next week. But while you're dropping in the chat, hello everybody. Drop down there where you're watching from. Where you at? Drop in the chat where you're watching from. And then how crazy was your Monday? Was it pretty chill? Was it a 1 out of 10 or was it a 10 out of 10? Super insane, rip my hair out, can't wait till it's over. Well, if you're feeling that, hopefully this Metabolic Monday will ease right out of Monday to Tuesday with an amazing hour of information you cannot get anywhere else. The whole premise of why did we launch Metabolic Monday? We did that because the insanity that is out there about information. We are in the over-informed era. And more information that is not the right information leads to analysis paralysis and not good decision making. I find people know less today with more information than they ever have in human history. Maybe you would agree with that, right? And so here is the place where we can take the reality of application of 18 years of functional medicine, Western medicine, aesthetic, and health nutrition, bring it all together into real answers that are a little bit of science, a little bit of clinical evidence brought together, giving you real answers that you can bank on here, unlike anywhere else on the damn internet or on Instagram or TikTok or wherever you're getting your damn nutrition and fitness information these days. I am functional health coach Vince Pitstick with over 18 years of fitness nutrition, Western medicine, functional medicine experience. I bring it all together here for you, and I have created a university to teach all of you the methods and the mysteries that we have solved over these many years of being in practice. It is called Metabolic Mentor University, headed up by our amazing team, Michael Clifford, Sharon, Cam, Caroline O'Connor. You got Dr. Carrie Jones. Who doesn't love Dr. Carrie Jones? Shout in the chat if you love Carrie Jones. I love listening and getting to talk to her every single day. She's incredible. And there's a whole bunch of team back there. We've got Allie, we've got your amazing advisors, and then your instructors. You got some of the best instructors who do functional medicine at its best in real life. I hate getting education from people that have only educated and never done the thing that I want to learn about. Learning about the thing isn't doing the thing. Getting a certification on the thing isn't doing a thing. Reading about the thing isn't doing the thing. Watching YouTube videos on the thing isn't doing the thing. Teaching people how to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Well, at Metabolic Mentor University, we do the fucking thing, and we do it at the best in the country, and then we turn around and teach you how to do the thing that we actually do. Does that make sense, everybody? I hope it does, because you're listening to a whole lot of practitioners and a whole lot of influencers who are telling you how to do the thing that have never done the thing. You're listening to a whole lot of scientists who research how to do the thing, have never done the thing. People who publish papers on the thing and never did the thing, right? People who give opinions on the thing but have never done the thing. Here we do the damn thing, and we teach you how to do the thing in your life for real, something that will work for you. And so anyways, we teach that at our university, Metabolic Mentor University, and we certify you to go out in the world and be a healer and agent of change. You all know that the medical system sucks. Everybody's falling through the cracks. More doctors, more research, more medications, and yet more sick. Because it doesn't work that way. The only place we have to go to look and see what evidence do we have of actually improving the health of the average American, look no further than Florence Nightingale. The first nursing college to ever exist, right? She created the fundamental system of dietetics, basically, of nursing, wound care. Everything comes from Florence Nightingale. Nursing is the greatest medicinal technology that's ever existed, right next to penicillin. We can all argue that. And that's because it focuses on the human element of healing, right? And so that's what coaching is. And so that's why you're here. You guys know that you're not going to get all the information from just listening to a fitness guru or your doctor down the street with a lab coat on and a nice little license behind his name that says he can do the thing. But guess what? Not even a license behind your thing means you can do the thing. I don't know if many of you have learned that, right? That's what I mean. Just because you got initials about the thing doesn't mean you can do the thing. Just because you got a practice that says the thing in the title doesn't mean you can do the thing, right? Just because you got initials that says you can do the thing doesn't mean you can do the thing, right? And so that's why we do the thing right here at Metabolic Monday Live for an hour, bringing you how to do the damn thing. So, all right, we have a lot to get to. If you just joined in the chat, I reward people from being loud and proud in the chat. I give away all kinds of care baskets from my supplement company, New Ethics Formulations. Why do I love New Ethics Formulations? Because I'm a control freak. I've got to know that the ingredients are perfect, that the manufacturing is perfect, that it does the thing that I said it's going to do, because I sell my reputation on outcomes, not on supplements. So the supplements better do the thing. That's why I designed New Ethics Formulations, and we give away hella products almost every Metabolic Monday. How to do the damn thing should be the book title. There you go, Keanu. I think you are exactly right. How to Do the Damn Thing by Vince Pitstick. There you go. But anyways, New Ethics products are legit. So I'm going to give away products. We're going to give away certifications tonight, right? Best coach in the game. Thank you very much. I'll take that, right? But yeah. Oh yeah, I'm passionate today, Jill, because I'm about to give away lots of fucking money. Oh, lots of money. All right. So, and Watson's apparently going to join me, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to see my cat enter in the picture in 3, 2, and 1. That is Watson. So Watson does this, everybody. Watson likes to jump on set because he wants me to know that he's hungry. And so but he doesn't tell me. He just walks around, and then when I look at him, he walks to his food bowl as if I'm going to fucking just go, oh, I should just feed you now because I'm a stupid human. But anyways, so tonight is the kickoff. All right, Christina, we'll get to your question in just a minute. Is oxandrolone okay to take before doing the Dutch Complete? I probably wouldn't. I would wait, but you can if you're on 3 milligrams or less, to answer your question in the short, right? So he just wants me to know. Watson's just walking circles. He's just walking circles around me. And now he's laying right in front of the set. None of you can see this right now, but he is laying there sprawled out like, look at me. Would you look at me? Feed me again. Anyway, all right. So tonight, though, we have a big announcement along with all the great information that we normally give away. And so I want to dive right in. Before I do, real quick disclaimer. Hey, everybody, I never told you I was a doctor that has a license that says they can do the thing, because I don't need that. Right? I'm a functional expert. I don't treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Coaches and influencers, I hope you're paying attention to how a disclaimer works. And then, A, see a functional practitioner for any advice I might give you on information before trying, I guess. All right, moving on from that bullshit, right on to MMU Scholarship Program. All right, that was my liability team making me put that up there. That's fine. We got that out of the way. MMU Scholarship Program 2024, $250,000 we're giving away in certifications so you can go out there and change lives. You can up-level your ability to create outcomes in your own life, in your clients' lives. Maybe you're a chiropractor, maybe you're a dietitian, maybe you're a coach, and you want to take your practice to the next level. This is what we do best. So, again, we have some announcements tonight. We're giving away a 2024 full ride scholarship worth over $20,000 to become a level 3 functional health coach. And so, but on top of that, we are also giving away $250,000. We have $250,000. I have given the sales team, so if you're going to meet with the sales team, they have $250,000 to give away. And every time they meet with someone and give some away, they only have so much to give less. So once it's gone, it is gone. Dr. Eric, NP says starting level 1 now, we'll be doing level 2 and then 3 thereafter. That's what I'm talking about. Awesome. Chelsea says starting level 1 soon. Cannot wait. I cannot wait. When you go to MMU, there's no one that will ever tell you they went to MMU and it didn't change everything they believed about nutrition, about functional medicine, and about how to help people. There's no one. Go big or go home. That's right. All right. So we will be in touch with you if you did not win today. I'm giving away 2 partial scholarships today, and I'm giving away 1 full ride. Okay? So if you are not one of the 3 that I call out tonight, don't you worry. We will be standing by to get a session with you, and then we're going to dole out a certain amount of that $250 for you to make sure that you don't have to wait to change lives for years later. We want to get you in now, changing lives today. So this first one is partial scholarships. I've got 2 to give away. And the winners to the partial scholarship is Haley May and Tara Krenzel. 3K, the level 1 scholarship winners. Full ride level 1 scholarship, Haley May and Tara Krenzel. We're going to say Krenzel. I hope they were on. They probably aren't. Somebody go let them know. Track them down. Haley and Tara, congratulations. You will become a level 1 certified functional health coach with us at MMU. Can't wait for you to get started in the experience. Our level 1 experience, just so you guys know, you get classroom style, where you get to see live case studies, you get to practice, you get all the setups to your coaching practice if you need it, the business tools if you need it, and then the how-to to actually do the thing with real live other people, or you can self-pace it. You can just do all of the PowerPoints, all of the handouts, all of the live or the video trainings, and also live quarterly trainings that we do, and you can do it at self-pace as well. We have every option for you moving in the world at the speed that you need to move at, depending on the circumstances of your life. Congratulations to Haley and Tara. All right, full ride scholarship, level 1, 2, and 3, right? Here we go. And the winner of the 20K giveaway is Kayla Sims. Congratulations, Kayla Sims. $20,000. Count it in the bank. All yours. I cannot wait for you to get through this experience and then realize that when you look out in the world, there's not one human being on this planet you couldn't radically change their life, no matter what the condition is or the goal is. You could be a game changer. And so I cannot wait, Kayla, for you to start the journey. Congrats to all 3 of you. But remember, we will be in touch. We have another $250,000 to give away. We're going to get on and give away thousands of dollars to all of you, but you got to get on a call because it's only a certain amount and it keeps dropping every call that they have. So there's only so much left as we go. $250,000 to still give away. Make sure if you applied and you haven't booked a call, you have to book a call to make sure that you can get involved in our partial scholarship wins. And we dole out some of the $250,000 to you. Thank you, everybody. Awesome. We had a bunch of people. Okay, there we go. 50 to 31. It's jumping a lot. People jumping around right now. All right. Now, if we got any questions, please go ahead and drop them in the chat. I've got my amazing team. I've got Cam. I've got my Waleed. I've got Nathan. I've got I've got Caroline if she's actually going to stay around. I've got so many of my practitioners and team in here to make sure they can answer your questions should something come up on any of the material that we're about to talk about today, okay? So I think it's very important that you know that. And so again, if you have questions, drop them in the chat. I'm still going to give away about another $300 to $500 in free New Ethics care packages. So if you're interested in that, please stick around because the giveaways is going to keep on going, baby. All right? So first question. All right? And then also these questions are selected from my questions tabs in my stories. So I don't know. I'm not even going to try to say your name. But she is also one. Gosia? I'm going to say Gosia. She was asking about LDN, low dose naltrexone, right? Low dosages of LDN, that is low dose naltrexone. Yes or no? And the answer is absolutely yes. I'm going to tell you why. What for? I don't know about what for would you prescribe it. But I would say I don't prescribe because I'm not a doctor. However, I can tell you what I believe about LDN, and then my medical company, Vital Med, gives this out all day at the best prices in the country. And so low dose naltrexone, if any of you are coaches out there, or if any of you have obsessive compulsive behavior and you're having a hard time overcoming some of your patterns, maybe you're having patterns with food, maybe you're having patterns with relationships, maybe you're having patterns with work that you just can't seem to break. You notice this ever evolving cycle of the same patterns in your life that you can't seem to break. Part of that has to do with the psychology of how cannabinoids, opioids, and dopamine work in your brain. The reward center of your brain. Many people, when they get really stressed and they get really inflamed, the natural levels of opioids, that's right, your brain makes heroin, but your own form of low-dose heroin. This ain't like street drug heroin. This ain't no fentanyl type of opioid, okay? We ain't talking about elephant trank up in here. We're talking about very mild doses of natural opioids that your brain makes. Your body makes opioids because it does a few things. One, it helps establish your feelings of well-being. Like if you've ever been standing and staring off into the distance and you're looking at some majestic thing and you feel calm and tranquil and you kind of just feel good. Has anyone ever gotten that little feeling of like, I don't know how to explain it, but like this natural feeling of euphoria that kind of comes over your body and just kind of naturally relaxes? A little bit of that is opioids, right? Another part of that could also be oxytocin, which is another love hormone, which by the way, you can bottle up and take, ladies. And it can be really helpful in reducing stress hormones and catecholamine production. But LDN, what it does, when you're really inflamed and you're really stressed, your body's natural production of opioids declines. And when it declines, you don't get enough to satiate your receptors. So when you don't have enough opioids for the amount that your receptor sites need, it leads to nervousness, tension, and obsession and compulsion. That's why low-dose naltrexone is used to help curb obsessive compulsive behavior. In fact, they use up to 25 to 50 milligrams to get people off drugs and alcohol. And then they use in other people for obsessive behavior and anxiety and nervousness, they use more 3 to 5 milligrams. Kaylene, but it says better to take LDN morning or before bed. So it has a very short half-life, LDN. So the half-life of LDN is about 12 hours. That's why it's so safe. Try to remember this. Drugs, the shorter the half-life, the less chance of side effect. So that's why antidepressants have such a large side effect profile, because antidepressants can last up to 2 weeks as a half-life inside of your body. LDN is not an antidepressant. It is not an anti-anxiety, and it's almost out of your system in 12 hours. So what LDN does, it's really the anti-drug drug. It will block your body. That's why I recommend it in the morning. You want to take it first thing because then it blocks your receptors from receiving its natural opioid dose. It is what's called an opioid antagonist, okay? And so it blocks it. And so then your body, to overcome that, produces a whole bunch more opioids. So then your body actually makes the required amount for your body, and then it's you naturally producing it. It's not LDN making more of it or giving you opioids. LDN is not heroin. It helps your body make its own natural heroin, which is cool. Hey, how about that? And so anyways, so because of its short half-life, You want to take it in the morning, early in the morning to experience the benefit throughout the day, but it does build up a little bit. So over days, it doesn't matter if you're more morning or afternoon or something like that. Great question. I didn't know that. I was always told to take it at bed, but I take it at lunch now. Christina, some people do better with it at bed, so it's fully active by the time they wake up. So that's okay too. But you're okay to take it. Some people do better at night too. I like it with my clients really early, first thing in the morning, especially if you're an early riser. But you might find that you get a better effect from it later in the day. By the way, what is the effect of LDN, Vince? What should I be feeling when I take LDN? Well, most people feel general balance of wellness. I have general feelings of good wellness. I'm not as anxious. I'm not as nervous. I have general feelings of well-being. I don't sleep well if I take it at night. Audrey, you know, you're not the only one I've noticed. I noticed that in a lot of people. So I like it more during the day, personally, right? LDN, one of the things that it does is that when you have balanced levels of opioids, it calms your body down. When it calms your body down, your cells, when they're not all like active and stressed, they produce less cellular inflammation. So that's what makes it really good for chronic diseases, autoimmune disorders. Hashimoto's is the one that's got the most clinical efficacy in the research. Could use more of that during the days with my kids. There you go. That or Cordy's. Absolutely. So, but general feelings of well-being, maybe a little less swelling and tension. And again, it's really light. It's very mild. There's almost no side effect to it. It's pretty much free money as medications go, and it's because of its really short half-life and its mechanism of action. So coming back to this, thank you for being selected, Gosia. So if you would please, we're going to go ahead. We'll hook you up. We really like pairing with low-dose naltrexone. 2 products. That is our Court Ease. I take 2 twice a day of Court Ease, and then I would also add with it our Chaseberry progesterone support works really well with LDN. So our Chaseberry Plus liposomal coming your way. Go ahead and message Waleed, please. You are the winner. Thank you for participating. Julie says, LDN is amazing. It is fucking amazing. I love it. XOX Fit Babe XOX says, my doctor had me on rifaximin. Oh, no good. For 2 weeks. I feel like it didn't do anything. Are you familiar with this? Yes. Happens a lot. So you're taking rifaximin, I'm assuming, for different gut issues, right? What was go ahead and drop in the chat. I'll come back to this. The rifaximin was to get rid of an infection. Tell me a little bit about what they were using it for, and sometimes it doesn't work at all. Usually it doesn't work because a lot of the reason that you're having symptoms is not because of a foreign bacteria. It's because of your own commensal bacteria that gets overgrown. Your commensal bacteria, the bacteria that's been with you since you're 5 years old, 2 years old, yes, for your SIBO. So when you have chronic long-term SIBO, it's not bacteria that's the main problem. That's why we have like a 98% success rate with SIBO, because we understand that SIBO is more of an autoimmune condition than it is a bacterial condition. We have found out that your immune system is slightly dysfunctional, stressed out, and suppressed in the gut. It allows your commensal bacteria to overgrow. So you're dealing with a hyperreactive immune system and a suppressed immunity in the gut. So commensal bacteria is high, your immune system is suppressed in the gut but overreactive to foods, and that's what they call SIBO actually is. So if you don't work the immune system and the microbiome at the same time, just throwing an antibiotic in there is not, I mean, the data is pretty clear. Rifaximin on early SIBO maybe works 30 to 60% of the time with almost a 60 to 80% recidivity rate, meaning that it will return. My thoughts on rapamycin, I friggin' love rapamycin. We use it in my clinic, Vital Med, all the time. I love it. I dose it differently depending on what your goal is. If your goal is longevity, I would say about 5 milligrams twice a week. for 2 months on, 1 month off kind of thing. I didn't know this about SIBO. Roxanne, that's the truth. People think SIBO. When doctors and scientists look at things called SIBO, all they can really see is the bacteria. But they don't understand that how the bacteria got overgrown was because the immune system let it. The immune system got weak inside the gut, so bacteria overgrew. So then science and doctors don't see the early root of it. All they see is the end result of it, which is the high bacteria. And they think it's just a bacterial problem. So they keep going after the bacteria and never, ever solve the problem. That's why if anybody's on here that has SIBO, we can guarantee you will get rid of the SIBO, or we will work with you for free till we do. It is our program guarantee and our specialist select or priority select program. If you're interested in that, put interested below, and Waleed will send you a link. We can book, we can talk about it. Right, Roxanne, exactly. My immune system's done for it. That's the trick of it, right? So, all right. Anyways, let's move on. Great question. We're going to go ahead. Gosia, if you get on here, Chaseberry and Cordy's for you from New Ethics Formulations. Thank you for participating. Question number 2. Steve Copshaw says, here's a softball. This is not a softball, but it is the truth. Talk about the connection of chronic inflammation and brain health when we talk about dementia. So there is a strong correlation between cardiometabolic disease becoming neurological because it's all metabolic. Most disease that begins in the body then grows in the brain. One of the big things that we see about dementia, cognitive decline, or Alzheimer's is a reduction in acetylcholine function. Okay? I want you to think of acetylcholine as the little branches that connect between neurons. And when you combine a series of factors that we have been deeply looking at with my research team, with my medical staff, is looking at the combination of 3 factors. How does something called excitotoxicity? This is overstimulation of catecholamines, corticotropin releasing hormone, CRH, and the effects of chronic dopamine overexcitation, over stressful environments, leading to overfiring of neurons, leading to the reduction of acetylcholine function, the breakdown into cognitive decline and dementia, 1. 2, how your microbiome paired with your cardiometabolic health. So how do we go from metabolic syndrome, which makes you 80% more likely to get dementia? How does your cardiometabolic inflammation change and your microbiome interact with one another to change past the blood-brain barrier to then reduce acetylcholine function, create mitochondrial and cellular damage, leading to dementia? And 3, and one of the newest and most interesting areas, how the immune system, and this is one of the most important parts, controls cellular inflammation that creates what we call immunosenescent cells or senescent cells. Think of them as undead cells that begin to grow in our body and in our brain, leading to designaling, cognitive decline, acetylcholine reduction, PRP reduction, and then subsequently a diagnosis like dementia or Alzheimer's. And we've been working heavily on cases in our program, particularly on dementia and on Alzheimer's. And we have seen that when you work the immune system and you reduce systemic ROS, when you reduce calm immune function and reduce total cellular inflammation, how much the brain is actually neuroelastic, or the neuroplasticity and potential for recovery has been incredible. But focusing on the immune system and focusing on AMPK driven energy sources, using fasting, using what we call carb pulsing, creating diversity in the gut, and then using different peptides, different supplements, in order to bring back as much life as possible depending on the severity of the issue. So that's the interesting future that I see, looking at genetics as well, the genetic components that could lead to early dementia. But we see that dementia is a lifestyle-based disease. It's unequivocal. The research shows it. My clinical experience shows it. The more that you eat the standard American diet, the more that you really stress out, the more that you overtake stimulants and take things that disrupt the microbiome. The tissue that exists between your, what we call your gut barrier to your bloodstream, is the same exact makeup as your blood-brain barrier. And when that gets disrupted, what happens? So we look at using things like ginkgo, ALA, certain detox agents in liposomal form that are able to leach into the brain and pull out potential neurotoxic agents, restore the microbiome, restore the brain barrier, and create cognitive function increases. So anyways, it's really a super interesting topic, Steve. That's where we're at with it. I hope you enjoyed that. All right, Steve, you don't get any products though. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. Heidi Baker is the winner. Thank you for this amazing question. We will award you some products at the end. How long can you be on semaglutide? Does it become, let me get out of the way, less effective being on it for a year plus? Heidi, great question. All right. Ooh, Chelsea, I'll get to your, is there a link between vitamin D deficiency and arthritis? Runs in the family, and I'm starting to notice symptoms. Yes, there is, but understand the difference between correlation and causation. Okay? So most people, Chelsea, that have overactive immune systems burn through hormone D, because vitamin D is actually more important as a hormone than it is as a vitamin. As a hormone, it hormonally regulates the immune system. So when your immune system is really upregulated, your vitamin D is going to drop heavily, right? So when you look at vitamin D and arthritis, you're not looking at causation, you're looking at correlation. We will see oftentimes when vitamin D starts to decline, soon after an autoimmune rises. That does not mean that vitamin D, low vitamin D status causes autoimmune disorders. It could certainly play a part in advancing an autoimmune disorder, but it doesn't mean it causes it. And that's what we've noticed over time. I don't like giving high dose vitamin D without cofactors and without immunomodulators like reishi. Chelsea. That's why I created a product called New D. Out with that old D you was hanging out. No. And in with the New D. You should check it out, nevethics.com. You know what? I'm going to hook Heidi up with it. No, you know what? I'm going to give Chelsea. Go ahead, Wally. Go ahead and give Chelsea the New D. She doesn't need that old D wherever she was getting it from. She needs the New Ethics New D. I'm never going to get over that. I'm going to get over that. Chelsea, we're going to give you some New D in your life. It's called New D from New Ethics. Enjoy it. All right. So semaglutide. Heidi Baker is on semaglutide. Now listen, I don't know if the reasons that Heidi was put on this, I'm not saying I don't know her case, right? So I don't necessarily know, but she's on semaglutide. Semaglutide, right, can be used very medicinally, okay? Now understand that a lot of people are abusing semaglutide. I have to talk about this at fucking nauseum because people don't understand what semaglutide is. And if they don't understand the mechanism, they don't understand how medicinally beneficial it can be for people in the right fucking situation. If you're not in the right situation, then you're just using it like an asshole. That's the two totally different people, okay? There's assholes just giving away semaglutide like it's fucking candy, but don't confuse those with the people that are using it in metabolic disorders that are getting revolutionary, unprecedented medicinal outcomes and potentially eliminating things like cancer and Alzheimer's. You'll see there is a lot going on using semaglutide and in cognitive issues, FYI, okay? So there is a time and a place to use semaglutide, okay? I have at any one time in any one of my coaching clinics about 1,000 people. About 100 people are on semaglutide because we get metabolic disorders. We're using it under the supervision of a medical doctor and a dietitian, used for certain amounts of time. Heidi is on semaglutide. She has been on semaglutide, producer Malachi, while I'm pointing with my hands. There we go. So she's been on it for over a year. Can it still be effective? Let's answer that question first. The answer is yes. The studies, Heidi, were on 2 years. So you can at least be on semaglutide for 2 years, and typically the safety profile is very, very high. They've only noticed in some research where if somebody's already potentially got thyroid cancer, which is still pretty damn rare, you can advance it faster, okay? And just some rare notes in studies, they noted that somebody ended up coming in, and it's not even sure if they came in with thyroid cancer. They probably did. Semaglutide didn't cause thyroid cancer, but it probably advanced it in certain cases, okay? Now, semaglutide is being taken by a bunch of unhealthy people out there with a bunch of comorbidities. They're not taking the right supplements around it. They're not using the right diet. They're not living a healthy lifestyle. They're taking it with 27 different medications, and then they're taking it irresponsibly, and then they're posting their side effects on fucking Reddit. So then everyone gets on Google and they Google semaglutide, and all you're hearing from is the 3% worst complainers on the planet talking about their experience with semaglutide. When majority of people, probably the millions of people taking it right now, majority of them, if they're taking it responsibly, are not having all those side effects. Now, is it okay to be on it a year plus? Yes, but Heidi, something that you should know is that after you're on it past a year, it's not being as effective. That's why people at Nutrition Dynamic or Vital Coaching use it for maybe typically 6 months up to a year. I use it to help people build sometimes that cannot build muscle. When they cannot build muscle and only fat, they're having metabolic issues. You can actually use it to feed people up, not starve them and make them not eat and do a bunch of hours of cardio and eat all their muscle, okay? So, but semaglutide has a time with it. My clients have had success. That's right, Mindy. That's because, Mindy, you're a good fucking coach with a head on your shoulders. So you still feed people appropriately. You use very small amounts, and then you use it for the time that you need it, and then you get them off of it, right? Ready, Set, Lash says, recent blood work shows I have below normal amylase. Should I take a specific enzyme? I notice my digestion has been off, and I feel this is a reason. Certainly, if amylase is low, add pancreatin. Pancreatin has amylase in it. So that would be, you could use our product Utilize. Utilize has pancreatin in it and has all of the pancreatic enzymes like amylase. You can take that. Or you can take a product called Pan9X. Check that out. All right, now, the problem with semaglutide is that if you have been on it and you haven't been serious about your dieting, you've just been eating however you want, and you've been on high dose semaglutide. That's why it's important to go up slowly if you can, because when you get up to the full 2.5 milligram dose and you've been up there, right, you got about 3 to 5 months where at full dose where it isn't going to really work much anymore. And then you've got to switch over to a combo of GLP and GIP. You got to get the GIP with the GLP, right? So it's a combo, and it's called trizpeptide. Trizpeptide can be compounded if you need it, only if you need it. We don't give it away at VitalMed unless you absolutely need it, because you've become semaglutide and metformin resistant, which many of you have. But the problem is it's 2 or 3 times the price. So we don't want to get there if we can avoid it, Heidi. Make sure you're using semaglutide as a means to an end. Don't use it as a treatment that you just try to stay on. You should also, Heidi, rotate off semaglutide. So when you rotate off semaglutide, you can be off of it for 3 to 6 months and it'll work again. So if you pulse semaglutide and don't just stay on it all the time, it can be much more effective for you. So think about that. Heidi, one of the products that you can combine really well with semaglutide to make it really, really effective is using herbs that have GLP-1 secreting properties. I have put all of those herbs into one formula, like gentian, vandal sulfate, and so much more. And it's called GDA Max Pro, best blood sugar product in the game. Help you stimulate leptin production, increase fat metabolism, maximize your carbohydrates, minimize that fat potential. All right, check out Heidi. I'm going to go ahead and give you one of my bottles of GDA Max Pro from New Ethics Formulations. Thank you. Metformin resistance. Can this happen if you're on metformin but not semaglutide? Kate, most people get metformin resistance. Why do you think semaglutide was created? Everybody started getting blood sugar issues and doctors just started handing out metformin like Pez. Here you go. Some for you and some for you. It's free money. Metformin's so amazing. Then once we hit the 5, 7, 10-year mark of a shitload of people being on metformin, guess what happened? Blood sugar numbers started skyrocketing, and the metformin was almost making their glucose worse. And that's because your body goes through something called maladaptation. So your metformin's trying to suppress the sugar that's being released from your liver, and in doing so, ends up suppressing beta cells and increasing alpha cells. So if you suppress it releasing from the liver, you can increase alpha cell production in the pancreas, which releases glucagon. Glucagon induces more conversion of glycogen into sugar. So by taking the metformin too long, you can actually crank your glucose level and become metformin resistant. That's why they had to come up with GLPs technology, because everybody was getting fucking metformin resistant. That's why there's no medication that's going to stop what's coming for you unless you really work fundamentally on the roots on why you have the cellular inflammation. When would you use GDA Max over Slintrol? I use GDA Max Pro when I need a really, really aggressive blood sugar control. If I'm just trying to maximize my carbohydrates and I'm a bodybuilder and I'm trying to perform a little bit better, or I don't want to crash maybe when I eat my cheat meals, Slintrol's good. But if I got a real clinical blood sugar issue, I'm going GDA Max Pro. Great question. All right, moving on. There was some, hey, go up real quick. Producer Malachi, there were some really good questions in the chat. Let's see what we got. Hit me with some questions. Robin414 says, protein and where to learn more about this hot topic. What amount do we really need? Okay. Interesting question, Robin. Protein intake for women. I'm assuming you're a woman. I hope that's okay. But protein intake for women is way less than you'd think, because all you really need to establish is nitrogen balance. Nitrogen balance and getting enough essential amino acids and branched chain amino acids only actually requires somewhere in the neighborhood of 0.3 to 0.4 gram protein per pound, let's say. Now, most people would tell you that healthy protein intake would be 1 gram, right, per pound, right, of body weight. Some people would go, you could also, another way to look at that would be 1 gram per kilo. I like 1 gram per kilo, which would be 2.2 pounds, which kind of comes out to about 0.4 to, somewhere in there. I think it's about 0.4 per pound, right? Somewhere in there. Now, does that mean that that's the place that you should stay? No. Mediterranean diets, pescatarian diets, most plant-based places in the world, most blue zone places only get, this is where people live the longest, only get about 1 gram per kilo of body weight. All right. Now, if you want the best for hypertrophy, meaning if I want the best amount that will generally in a healthy body maintain my metabolism, help maintain muscle mass, then you might want to get a little bit closer to 1 gram. Like if I'm training, resistance training a lot, and I'm trying to promote protein synthesis, I like to eat, right around at least 1 gram per pound, especially for males too, having more muscle. I think it's at least a little bit more important. I will say then, if I'm trying to maximize my protein synthesis, meaning that if I'm training, and the training stimulus is really important, if I'm training aggressively, I like to get my protein closer to about 1.5 grams, if I can, per pound of body weight, if I can. That's a lot of protein, and then I have to start taking a lot of betaine hydrochloride because my digestion cannot handle 280 grams of protein. I start getting protein farts. No one's going to want to be around me. I'm looking all bloated. I look like I'm about to have a baby because I'm so distended from all that damn chicken and all the protein shakes and all the steak. And then again, those farts ain't no joke, right? So I have to take a bunch of digestive enzymes to make sure that my stomach can digest that much protein. And I don't do it for very long. I mean, I'll maybe do it through a building period where it's like 3 or 6 months or something like that. But anyway, all right, moving on. Taylor asks, is metabolic flexibility a real thing? If so, how do we get there? What is metabolic flexibility? The principle of metabolic flexibility is this, is that your body all day long goes from a fed state to an unfed state, to sleep, to activity. Your cell has mitochondria. The mitochondria has 2 forms of energy metabolism and only 2. Those 2 pathways are mTOR, which is the breakdown of proteins and carbs into sugar, and AMPK, which is the breakdown of fats. And that is you have 2 furnaces. They run on 2 separate energies. And the key to your longevity, the key to functional health, is being able to jump back and forth from either one all day long. That process is written into our DNA. It has everything to do with how our cells work. All metabolism must run through this process, essentially. How much energy our body actually makes, how much ATP that our body actually makes depends on the efficiency of our, not just one of these processes, both of these processes, and being able to jump back and forth all day long. Did you know you burn fat while you eat food? Bet you didn't. Right? And so if your body cannot jump back and forth, if it stops jumping back and forth and it gets stuck, it's getting stuck more in the day in a sugar burning state. That's how all disease begins. That comes back to that dementia case, right? Most people with dementia have chronically high glucose levels, between 100 to 120, even 2 hours after they eat, doesn't come back down. And so what happens is you get stuck in the sugar burning state, and then you can't get into AMPK. And in AMPK, that's where autophagy happens. Cellular cleanup of bad cells, bad mitochondria. That's where autophagy happens, healing cells. Mitophagy, the healing of mitochondria happen. So if you can't get into a fat burning state, you're not spending as much of your time in a healing state. So that means you start to build up inflammation and ROS. And that means you accelerate the aging process. That's why everything starts to age you a little bit faster, that when you were young, like you could just pretty much drink a vat of poison and recover. And now today you can barely withstand 8 hours of work, right? It's because your ability to kick up your cellular health or your oxidative stress removing part of your immune system called the resolution phase is less adept the older you get, and it runs on fat. And the less that you can burn fat, the less it's going to run effectively. So you can train your body by removing factors that cause cellular inflammation, by getting rid of bad cells. Would fasting help kick off the metabolic flexibility if you do it correctly? Yes, Kate, right? So if I want to improve metabolic flexibility, the first things that I can do is get rid of ROS and inflammation that are preventing my body from jumping between the 2 energy sources in my body. I can also feed it better so it has both energy resources to burn. I practice using things that burn more energy, like working out, sleeping. Sleeping is the #1 way to get back metabolic flexibility. If you don't have enough metabolism, stop trying to train more. Make sure you're sleeping enough. If I had to ask you, how do I maintain my metabolism? Do I work out or do I sleep? I'm going to tell you right now, it's sleep. Don't work out, just walk and sleep. Way better for metabolic flexibility. You can push all the you want in the gym, but if you don't sleep, you're hurting your metabolic flexibility, right? So you want to remove all of the things that cause that. You want to fuel the cell to have everything it needs to switch back and forth. That's why we like L-carnitine. That's why you got like B2 and B5 and B6, B12, NAD if you're into that kind of thing, NMN. But one of the biggest things that you can do is optimize your hormones to drive upregulated function. That's why androgens are so important. Androgens upregulate your metabolic flexibility usually. But last and most important is to annually clean out cells in your body that get old. Your body all the time gets cells that get old and they are not as metabolically active and they can't get out of a sugar burning state. Your body has a cellular mechanism for clean out of all of these cells. But as you get older, that process begins to decline. So then you have to simulate it. You have to create an environment that forces your body to do it because it doesn't naturally do it as well anymore. That's why fasting or fasting-like programs can be so important because it will eat out all those bad cells. And when you eat out all those bad cells, you reduce the metabolic messengers of upregulation. When you get rid of those cells, all of your cells are messaging all the other cells. So if you got cells in there that are blocking messages, you're reducing metabolic function. So the more I get rid of all these cells, cellular messaging goes up, metabolic activity goes up, and now all of a sudden I've got more metabolic flexibility, which is why periods of fasting are so crucial to keeping an amazing metabolism. So thank you very much for participating, Producer Macalakai. Taylor, thank you so much. One of the products that we love for metabolic flexibility is also supporting endocrine function. Thoughts on semaglutide for clients who have healthy blood sugar levels? Everyone is asking. Chloe, I don't know what answer you're looking for here, but if you've got normal blood sugar levels and you have a metabolism that works, I do not recommend using semaglutide because you will eat probably too much muscle unless you're doing it with a trusted health advisor that knows how to use it. I would say it's best to teach you how to maintain it long term without leaning on a drug to get it. It's important that if you don't need it, don't use it, right? You don't want to train dependence on accident. Semaglutide is an incredibly amazing tool, right? But if used inappropriately or not under the guidance of an expert who can teach you how to train and diet with it correctly, you can muscle waste, right? Yes, exactly. Creating huge deficits. Now, if you learn to eat the right amounts on semaglutide, it can be incredible. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie that I know fitness athletes using semaglutide right now. But trust me on this, right? It's like the same thing of using a whole bunch of metformin when you don't need it, right? If you need it, we got it. If you don't need it, let's learn how to just balance it and do it your right so you can keep it long term. Remember, what comes fast goes faster. Fast money doesn't make money because you always spend it faster than you get it. Weight loss is no different, right? Taylor, go ahead. We're going to hook my girl up. We love 2 products for metabolic flexibility, GDA Max Pro, Thyroid Boost Plus. That is my key metabolic package to maximize that metabolism, girlfriend. We're going to go ahead and send it your way. Thank you for participating. And I want to thank all of you. We've had a great crowd here tonight. I appreciate you all. See you all next Monday. If I didn't answer your question, I'm going to go on my live or go on my stories tomorrow and answer each one of those Metabolic Monday questions. I'm not going to let them pass us by. I'll see you all next Monday. Peace. Thank you.